Welcome back to this 5 News special programme looking at the Chancellor's autumn statement today.
What we're going to do now is take you straight back to Julian. He's at a community centre in Blackpool. Julian, I know you've got loads of guests and plenty of mince pies and sausage rolls lined up, so over to you.
Absolutely, Dan. Yeah, the last time we spoke to some of the people in this room was April the 1st. That is 2 Prime Ministers and 3 Chancellors ago. So much has changed, not least the cost of living crisis. It was just starting to bite back then. But how are the people here feeling now in light of today's announcements? Well, first of all, let's talk to Kelly. Thanks for coming back. Spoke to you in April. You're a mum of 3 living on a single wage and you're studying as well. The Chancellor calling inflation today the enemy. I mean, how has it affected you in the last few months?
It's been awful, to be honest. The cost of food, even bread, milk, butter, it's just gone so high. Yes, we live off one wage. My partner works. He's working as much overtime as he can. But with Christmas coming up, our fridge freezer's broken. It's just ridiculous.
You've got your 2 kids here. I mean, obviously toys as well, that sort of stuff. I mean, everything is going up, isn't it?
Clothes. My son lost his coat first week of school, so that was an extra expense.
Do you worry what will happen next? I mean, you're waiting to get this new fridge freezer. I mean, when do you think you're going to make that purchase?
I'll have to wait till my next instalment of student finance, which will be January. So I'll have to manage until then.
And everything's just going up and up and up. I mean, the last shopping list you did, I mean, what were the things that really stood out to you?
You used to be able to do a shop in Lidl, say £50 a week. It's now gone up to over 100, and you're just getting the same amount. Even meat, everything's gone up in price.
And we just don't know where inflation will be next, do we? In terms of your heating as well, I mean, is it gone on yet?
I've put on £60 last week, and I still can't afford to put the heating on.
Gosh. Pauline, I mean, that's the same for you, isn't it? You just haven't turned it on yet.
No, I'm 90 years of age. I'm sitting in a house in semi-darkness because I only put 1 lamp on instead of I normally have 3. I've turned the heat down. I'm sitting with blankets around me. Now, I worked since I was 14 to 73. I shouldn't have to do this. And with our age group, we're frightened. We've always paid our bills. We're of an age of people who've budgeted and paid our way, and we're frightened. The people are frightened now. It's not so much that we can't afford. We're frightened with we don't know what's going to be. The television is all doom and gloom, and funeral expenses. And I'm sure there's nothing cheerful, nothing to look forward to.
I've seen some of those ads, actually. When do you think you'll turn on your heating? I mean,
well, I've got my heat on, but I've got it on low.
OK.
So, and I'm cold. I will have to turn it on as soon as it goes colder. I have no choice. I can't sit and be cold. We have to turn it on, turn it up. And I don't know.
Pensioners are supposed to be the winners today, this triple lock thing. They've made sure that
no, it comes in one way, it goes out the other. Everything comes and goes out. It's got no better than it was at any time. I mean, I went to school 80 years ago. Kids were coming to school without shoes on the feet and hungry. And now there's rockets, there's computers, there's electric cars. We've been to the moon. And we're back again now. We can't put bread on the table. I think it's a disgrace.
Matt, you're an assistant head at Christ the King School that's just down the road. They've announced additional funding today in this statement. I mean, that was one of the surprises, wasn't it? What's your feelings about what they've said?
Initially, it sounds like very good news. But I think with education, where that used to real terms cuts, hiding behind positive headlines, that at present I'm quite sceptical. And kind of need to see what happens in the next few months.
And we read stories of teachers having to sort of fund things themselves, taking in supplies. I mean, what has it been like in your experience?
Staff in school are very mindful of budgets that we have and know that they're quite tight. And we do have staff coming in with certain items for children that as leaders we do try to reimburse them for. But we shouldn't be in a situation where staff are having to contemplate dipping into their own pockets to support the school that they work in.
And there's a possibility, they're saying 2025, things might change. Do you feel as if we're heading towards an election and, you know, and then after that, things might get worse, perhaps?
I think it's quite possible. Like I said, there's been 10 years of real-term cuts in education. This could be, on the face of it, the current government trying to win votes with a really positive strapline.
Val, just next to you there, you were a nursing assistant, weren't you? And
Yes.
they've talked about NHS funding as well, extra funding. What are your feelings about what you read about? And there's, I mean, problems with wages, possible nurses' strikes. Well, what are you thinking?
Nurses are way behind with the wage scale. They always have been. They never... Whatever they give them, they split it into the years. So much one year, so much... They never catch up. They've never been well paid. I mean, I worked in it 30 years ago. And even then, you know... In fact, it's worse now.
You think it's worse?
It's worse. When I worked in it, there was 3 of us on a ward at night because I did regular nights. Now, apparently, it's 1 nurse for 2 wards. So, you know, it's worse. But they can never give them enough because they do a wonderful job.
If Jeremy Hunt was here now, if he came up on the train from Westminster, he would say, you know, he's giving you extra help with your energy bills over the winter. I mean, are you going to feel the effects of that? Do you think it will be a good thing?
I've got my heating turned off. I haven't got it on. I have got a coal fire and I've got a wood burner in the back. But even now, coal's gone up. And wood, I get wood for the burner. Even that's expensive. So, and I have no intention of putting my heating on until January.
January, gosh.
When it gets really cold in January and February.
So you're anticipating it might stay the temperature that we're at now, but really January, you're not going to turn it on until then?
No. You can't. I'm frightened. I don't know how much it's going to cost. I mean, they're talking of thousands of pounds. How can they expect people to pay that? You know, it's ridiculous.
Well, thanks for that, Val. We're going to take the temperature from this room later on in the programme. Lots of views on what Jeremy Hunt announced earlier on. Later on, then, we'll hear about this community centre and what they're doing to help people here in Blackpool.